read every book. I think reading is incredibly important. And I have got my favorite books here. Can I very quickly go through them? It won't take long. I've got about 7. So The Road Less Traveled is the most amazing, fantastic book ever. So Scott Peck, just buy that and trust me, it's brilliant. If you want to know about the meaning of life, it's not the easiest book to read, but it's fantastic. I really like The Inner Game of Tennis, which has got nothing to do with tennis. So I learned from The Inner Game of Tennis that there's no point trying to compete with other people. Forget competing. There's other trainers in the world who are better than me, richer than me, have more viewers than me, but that's good luck to them. Whatever. I'm plowing my furrow and I'm happy in my little furrow. And I also learned from this book that you'll never master anything. Don't try to master tennis or anything. Just enjoy it. Do it because you enjoy it. Anyway, that's a really interesting book. I've written a book called The Big Book of Happiness. I'd mention that. I've also written a book called Management Vegetables. That's the strangest book in the world. Management Vegetables is full of really weird illustrations and things. The anchovies of anxiety are in there. If you want a kind of a really strange, fun book, one of my favorite books ever is a book called The Goal. Look how well read that is. The Goal by Eli Goldratt. That's about operations management and production. But if you run a factory, you must read it. I've got 3 more. Influence by Robert Cialdini.
That one looks a little bit opposite.
Yes.
That one looks a little bit opposite from the tennis one because it talks about beating the competition, the goal one.
Yeah, it does actually, doesn't it? Yeah, I agree. That's a really good point. Forget the competition and forget beating anyone. But it is an amazing book. It basically said that hourly rates are a waste of time. It's all about bottlenecks. It's working out what the bottleneck is. And if you can improve that, you improve everything. And so this changed the face of production control. It changed the face of finance, really. I mean, it's an incredible book. It's a fun read. It's a novel about a bloke who gradually realizes why his factory doesn't work. So it's great. This book, Influence by Robert Cialdini, is fascinating. He did a load of research into how people are persuaded to do things and how our brains are wired. If something's scarce, you want it. Whether or not it's any good, if you discover it might run out soon, you want it, that kind of thing. So it talks about what's being done to you and how you could use some of these techniques maybe in your business. It's very funny as well. He talks about lots of experiments that he did and things. And that's the book on influencing. I've got 2 more. This, I think, is the best time management book, apart from possibly mine. The 10 Natural Laws of Successful Time and Life Management. It's a bit of a long title by Hiram Smith. You see across the top there, Hiram Smith. It's not that easy to get and it's quite expensive, but I just think he nailed it. I just think it's a really good book on time management. It's quite old, but he nailed it for me. And then the final book on my pile, no particular order, is a really strange book called Managing Management Time by William Onken. I think you can only get it secondhand now, but it's really funny and really clever. For example, he invented the concept of don't take the monkey. So if somebody comes to you and says, boss, I'm stuck. If you say, okay, leave it with me, the job is like a monkey that jumps from their back to your back. And he says, if you've got 10 people who work for you and they give you 2 monkeys a day, you're going to get 20 monkeys a day, 100 a week. You've now got 5 bosses who you work for. And he also talks about the orange juggling. There are 3 oranges. There's the stuff you want to do, there's the stuff your boss wants, and the stuff the system wants. And he says you can never satisfy all 3. But if you only satisfy yourself, you'll be in trouble. If you only satisfy your boss, the system will. And then if you only satisfy the system, then your boss won't be happy. And he talks about how some people only can juggle 1 orange and some people are juggling 2, but it's still a problem. Because if you keep your boss and the system happy, but you don't do what you want, that's no good. There's some amazing concepts in managing management time. It's not really about time management. It's more about management and surviving in organizations. But I really would recommend that book. Those are some books that changed my life. I hope that's an interesting book tour, but they're the ones I'd recommend.